Yo, robot.
Hello and welcome to an Elden Ring video on how to get a great start with an astrologer. I did a great start video just in general, a bit of a confessor thing, but it was just really how to kick the game off. This goes a bit further on how to get one or two items to get a real good start as an astrologer, including an S tier staff. It's not all my own work. I've seen other stuff on YouTube, obviously, and other players playing it on stream and putting it together and have a little play. And this is what I've come out with as the best opening, I don't know, I suppose, hour of the game, maybe, probably a bit less. But if you leave yourself an hour, you'll be well set. Anyway, let's crack on. Right, so we're going to choose, obviously, astrologer. Pick your own body type, obviously, and then you put a name in. So we've got old Scrandalf here. And then when you get to picking your keepsake, pick Golden Seed. I think that's the best one personally. That will give you an extra charge in your flasks. And then finish up after you've done all your stuff, making your player look funky, and crack on with the game until you get to Limgrave. And don't forget the dungeon on the right hand side when you first drop in the tutorial dungeon. So once you get to Limgrave, come straight out, taking its wonder. Touch Grace at this first point here, which is called First Steps, and then talk to the fella opposite, go through his dialogue, and then we're going to head to that church in the background called the Church of Ella. But we're going to avoid the fella you can see in the right hand corner of the screen, a big fella on a gold horse, gold armor, gold horse. We're going to avoid him like the plague because he is there to clap you back to Dark Souls 1. Just to show you how hard bosses can be. So we head up on the left, giving the fella on the horse a wide berth, just until we get to the church. So once we've made our way to the church, we're going to touch Grace, and then we're going to just head to the anvil there that you can see behind me, and pick up the smithing stones so you can upgrade your staff and your weapons at any point, or your shield. And then we're going to come south out the bottom of the church, because we want to just make sure that the fella on the gold horse isn't there. Yeah, he's heading away. Don't forget your 2 golden runes, so you can pop for extra runes for leveling up. And then we're going to head north to the encampment, and you can either avoid enemies on the road or you can kill them. It's up to you as you see fit. You play the game or you want to play the game, but obviously the runes will come in handy. So along the path through the trees, a couple of enemies. Take them out if you want, like I said. I did, because I wanted the runes and I wanted an item here that was by the campfire. And then just to the crest of the hill. So once you've reached the encampment, we're going to make our way around the encampment to the left, making sure we don't draw any enemies out. We want to head to the grace point at the top here. You can see it being lit up. And we're going to want to touch Grace again, and we're going to want to rest at this one. So we'll touch Grace. Then we'll rest, and that will trigger the cutscene, which will bring the maiden, who will allow us to level up and will allow us to get our spectral steed. Okay, once you've got your steed and you've got unlock the maiden, we want to fast travel, and you must fast travel, and it must be at night, to the Church of Ella. And the reason we're going to do that is because at night, if you fast travel there will be a NPC that appears on the wall, and you talk to her, and she's going to give you your summoning bell. Okay, once you've got your summoning bell, open your pouch. You can put your horse whistle in there, your spectral steed whistle, and you can put one of your summons in there as well. And then we're hot to trot, and we are going to fast travel back to the storm gate where the encampment was. So we'll see you when we get there. Okay, once you've travelled to Gatefront and rested at Sight of Grace, we are going to add the golden seed to our flasks, and then I'm going to allocate the flasks 3 to 2, or you can do 4 to 1 in favour of the mana. We don't want a lot of healing because we're hoping to take people out from range with our spells. And then I'm going to clear this encampment once, maybe twice, just to get some runes together so we can level up, because we want to be leveling up our intelligence to 18, and that will become the reason why we need to. That will become apparent in a bit, but we're going to do all that and pick any items up along the way, and we'll come back once I've cleared the encampment. Okay, so we cleared the encampment, did it twice, got 2,700 and so runes together, ready for leveling up. But before we leave, just in case you missed these items when you was clearing the encampment, we need to get the map fragment, which shows a more detailed map, showing points of interest on there, and just basically giving you a proper map rather than just markings of stuff that as you found them. And then we want to go down these steps here, and we want to go through the door, and there's a chest. We want to open the chest. There's a couple of items in there. There's an Ashes of War, which are skills that you can add to your armaments, and there's a whetstone knife which allows you to add them to your armaments. I didn't want you to miss those. So once the wolves get out of the way, we need to open the map, and although we've got the more detailed map, where we're actually going next isn't on the map, and it's roughly there. It might be a little bit further north than that. I think it is in the end, but that's where we're going. We're going to get on our spectral steed, and we're going to be on our way. However, right before we go though, we're just going to come a little bit further east, just down the road from the encampment, and there's another site of grace there that we might as well open up while we're passing them. And we're going to spend those runes to level up, because we're going to go and fetch, ultimately we're going to go and fetch a staff that is S tier and scales off intelligence, but we need 18 intelligence to wield it, so we're going to put that up to 18. And then I've got one more left, so I'm going to pop it in health and vigour. So now we're actually going to get on the horse, and now we're going to get off and go and find the staff with a couple of, well, one stop on the way. So off we go. So we'll set off down the path, east, across the bridge. When we get across the bridge, just turn left a little bit towards the north. Climb down the rocks. There'll be a site of grace. Might as well get that while we're there, so the map opens up. So you've got another save point. And through the trees, heading east until you get to the shoreline. Then turn left, north, head up. My marker was a little bit short, and eventually you get to a ruined church, another one, which is the third church of Marika. So we want to grab the items from there. It's a sacred tear, and we want to get this flask of wondrous physic and a crimson crystal that can go in that, and that gives you a different potion that you can add, but that's a different video altogether. The sacred tear is really good because we can add that to our flasks to make our flasks +1 to give extra healing and extra FP back. So touch grace. So there we are on the map, just northwest of the shoreline. Then we're going to call our spectral steed, and we want to be heading up towards this road and then turning east when we get onto that road. So we're going to go north on our spectral steed. We're going to come up to the cliffs. We're going to look for a jump point. I had to grab that while I was there. Up the jump point, go right round the wolves, up the jump point again, up another jump point, get to the road, head north. There's a church there with a touch of grace, a grace point in there, but there will be an invader if you go in there. And then we want to touch grace at that point. Then we want to head north along the road, follow the road. I do veer off the road a bit there, but just follow the road. Past these enemies, they're savage, don't mess with them. Through the ruins, follow the road. Now we're going south until you get to the edge of the cliffs, and then you'll see a fire, and there'll be a vendor there. Ignore him, come round the corner to the grace point, touch grace, and then we're going to go and get the staff. And there we are on the map. So that's where you need to be. So from the grace point, we want to come under this tree, turn left, avoid those enemies, and we want to be heading to this building here, this ruined, tall, old church. Jump off your horse, come round the corner, there's a fella hanging out the window, and there's your meteorite staff. It's a bad boy. Then want to get back on the horse again, come down the steps, and we want to be heading north again till we get to some ruins. Here they are by that curved branch, and there's some steps. We'll go down the steps, open the door, and in there is a chest, and you're going to find a spell, that rock sling, and that goes with the staff fantastically because they're both gravity. And then from there we can simply fast travel back, and we'll go to the lake, which was the first one we opened at the bottom of the encampment, if you remember, where we leveled up. Okay, so we're going to equip the staff, meteorite staff, fantastic. And then what we'll do is touch grace so we can change our spell. The only issue is, because we've touched grace so many times, this may or may not happen to you. The maiden turns up, and she is going to offer to take us to the round table, which is the hub of the game, but that's not what we're here for, so we'll skip through that. Okay, once we're back from the round table, it's Agid Lake North is the encampment that we're at. You fast travel back, then we get on our steed. I'm going to cross the bridge again, the same bridge we crossed to get the meteorite staff, but this time we're going to follow the road round, then up the hill until we get to this place here with the flower, little ruins. Ignore the flower, get down the steps, and then we're going to fight a boss in here called Mad Pumpkinhead. It's fairly easy, just get your summons out, they'll distract him. You can get this badass meteorite spell. Look at that, look at the health that took off. The rock sling is what it is with the meteorite staff. Bang again, nearly a third. That one missed for some unknown reason, he ducked underneath it. One more, finished off, boss fight over. Enemy felled. And the reason we want to take that boss out is because at the back of the room there's a site of grace there. I was just checking the room for items, nothing there. There's a door, you go through the door, and there's an NPC that will offer to teach you sorcery, and she has some spells for sale. I'll leave you to look through the spells yourself. I can't honestly say I've tried all of them yet, so I wouldn't want to say this one's better than another, because obviously I've yet to try them all. But you can have a look through there. There's a few spells, but that will start you off if you can afford them. She gives you an emote, and then we're going to touch grace, and then we are going to find another item, the last item on the list, to get you off to a good start. Right, so we're going to come out the steps, turn left to get on our spectral steed, get on our bike, make sure we don't get involved with any of these enemies, and head south down the road. Just keep following this road basically, but we'll go through it just so you're completely sure. Past that jump point, come to this bridge, watch out for the ballista at the end. First time I tried to record it, I did die there actually. It caught me right in the face. Bloody arrow the size of a giant's toothpick. And then just past all these enemies, I'll just ignore you. Round the bend, see the two towers, and there'll be a grace point. We're going to touch grace. There we are on the map, just south on that road, Castle Morn Rampart, and then we are going to get back on our steed, and there's a jump point here, spirit jump. We're going to hop on up, and we're going to head towards that tower. Now this tower you can't get in straight away. It's got a mist door But if you read that, it gives you a little bit of a clue. Basically, you've got to kill 3 turtles. Okay, so there's one in a bush, just there. And then, I don't know why I kept crouching. And then if you come over here, there's a pond. This one was tricky to find, actually. There's a pond. And then you'll notice after a while, it took me ages. There's a splash. Little invisible toe rag. Kill him. And then the other one is more or less back at the start. Should have done it first, really. If you turn your back on the door. That's a wolf. But there he is. See, he's right at the back of the steps at the door. Kill that turtle. You'll be allowed access to the tower. In we go. Up the ladder. Round the steps. And up there you will find a chest. And in there is a memory stone. What that does is it enables you now to add a extra spell, so you can carry 3 spells. There's no need to equip it or anything, it just does it automatically. I was just checking that the spells are there. You've got 3 memory slots on the right hand side. And now we can use 3 spells. So that's the end of the video. I hope that's helped you out, get a good start to being an astrologer. I can't wait to carry on playing this class now alongside my confessor. So leave a like if you like. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is where you'll find me on Twitch. This is where you'll find me on Twitter. And until next time, ta-ra a bit.